The first time you do something like smoke a cigarette or have your first drink with your friends or try out a drug, that is the seed for your addiction. My name is Primrose Vigie. I'm 76 years old. I belong to Delhi. As a kid, I attended Sunday school myself, and then when I passed out of school at the age of 16, I started to take Sunday school class myself. When I was about 19 years old, somebody in the church, a senior person in authority, did something that really troubled me. It was very wrong. So I decided in my immaturity to move away from the church. I had a new bunch of friends and we used to party. One of the things that I decided was smoking. By the time I had been smoking for about 10 years or so, I was smoking 2 packets of cigarettes in a day. That is about 40 cigarettes. My skin, my mouth, my throat, everything was dry. Even my eyes were very dry. Sense of smell was practically gone and I couldn't taste my food very well. So I wasn't living a very natural life. A few years later, I got married. I continued to smoke even when I was pregnant. My husband was also a smoker. We used to smoke in the house. One day, somehow, I just decided that I have to quit. It has to be what you might say cold turkey. The problem arose when I went to work the next day. I was so disoriented. I didn't know what I was doing. I would listen to my boss giving me some instructions, come out of his room and just forget what he had said. So this carried on for about 6 weeks. It was really bad for me. It was about 6 months later that I realized that I have actually got over the urge to smoke. I had a strong conviction from the Holy Spirit telling me the wrongs I had done. Apart from smoking, there were other things that I did which were very wrong, and one of those was that I never taught my children about Jesus at all. Occasionally took them to church on Christmas or Easter, but that was about it. As you can imagine, being away from God, our lives were not the best. I started to have a real guilt feeling about not teaching my children about God and leaving them rudderless in this world that is getting from bad to worse. My children are grown up, and if I start talking to them about the church and about Jesus, they're going to ask me, where were you all our lives? Why are you telling us this now? So I cried to God and I said, Lord, please help me, because I cannot do it on my own. And then certain things happened in our family, which it was a great churn, and that brought us in touch with people who were going to a church, and they said, why don't you come to this church? And that's when I came back to church, and that is when my children also went to church, and today they all know Christ. I was just so full of myself. I thought, I used my willpower to quit smoking. I didn't take help from anyone. When God drew me back to Himself, that's when I realized that it was never about me. It was always God who was leading me. It was always God who was giving me the strength, the willpower, whatever I needed. In our own strength, there's very little we can do. But yes, when God decides that it's time for you to get out of what you have been doing and into something better, He gives you the openings, He opens doors, He gives you the strength, the ability, and the need to do things. I realize that when you turn your back upon God, you're also moving away from the protection you had under Him. And then Satan can really play havoc with your life. He has a real field day, leading you very sneakily into wrong decisions, into doing wrong things, and until the time that you become addicted to it, or your lifestyle changes and everything about you is ungodly.